What's going on, man? Welcome back to the basement. I'm Ron. We have yet another impromptu live stream. We are out here because every day, or not every day, but I'd say every once in a while, I hop on Underdog, I load into a big board draft, get it going. I logged in today, and I realized we are at 95% full. I'm going to be really busy tomorrow. I think it's going to fill by Thursday, so I figured, this might be our last big board draft on the channel before inevitably a new contest opens up on Underdog. So I figured, what better place to run up a Underdog best ball draft than on a stream with you guys before this thing closes, getting in any last minute entries before the thing closes. I hope that you guys do the same. Of course, if you're new to the platform, promo code Ron gets you up to $100 matched on your first deposit on Underdog. Make sure you hop in there before this thing closes down for good. I've been trying to sneak in throughout the day while I've been working. I'll do a draft here and there, but these things are going to close soon, so make sure you are checking them out. How are we? If you're in here, say what's up. Make your presence known. How are y'all? How are we doing? How you know it's absurd if it hasn't happened yet? Because, dude, it's our last one. It's gonna be absurd. Dude, those adjectives. I know people it's crazy how many people get mad with clickbait on YouTube and stuff. Dude, we're all just trying to get seen in the algorithm. All right, I don't know that this is an absurd draft. It could be an absurd draft. It couldn't be. Look, if you guys clicked on the video more often, people wouldn't have to claw and scratch for, views and stuff. So I don't know. Sometimes I do fib a little bit in the titles. Forgive me, whatever. I know Jeffrey's just messing around because I recognize his name, but there are people who genuinely see a title like this and they're like, no, what the hell? How could you call this an absurd draft? Been consistent with these live streams? Yeah, I've been trying to get more consistent if I'm not posting videos for you guys. I always feel bad. I'm not sympathy streaming for you guys, but I don't know. I feel bad when I'm not pumping out content like I want to be. So if I didn't have time to outline and record a video, then this is what you're getting instead. Yeah, I know, Jeffrey. I know you're always in here gassing the boy up. But I just wanted to say, don't take my titles too seriously. I promise I'm not trying to trick anybody. I know, I'm not really saying any of you guys, people who are in my live streams, you guys are the best, but there are some random boomers who will click on a title and be like, what the hell is this title? Whatever. It's dude, you clicked on it, bro. you clicked on my title. I got you. I'm sorry. But all right, that's enough of me messing around. Yeah, like I said, I know you're just messing around. Yeah, we're gonna do a redraft, Underdog draft, but of course, you guys can ask me Dynasty questions, whatever. I am all ears. When it comes to that. Now, what do we got? Let's hop in. Let's hop into one of these drafts again. If any of you guys want to hop in with me, you are welcome to. This thing is going to fill very, very fast, though, or not. I guess very fast is probably the right word for it. But as you can see, the big board draft. I've been loving these. I think I'm 30 or so deep. $10 a piece. We're at 94.9% filled. Maybe my guess is it closes tomorrow night. But I'm gonna be busy tomorrow night. Maybe I'll get into what I'm doing tomorrow night later on in the stream. I'm not sure if I can really announce it yet. But let's do this. We'll hop into a $10 draft, real money, fantasy football. We can draft rookies and everything. One of my final drafts. Honestly, dude, this might close by the morning. Now that it was 94.7%, now it's 95% on the dot. This thing is gonna close very soon, to be honest with you guys. Which sucks, but it also means we'll probably get an assortment of other pretty fun formats and stuff to mess around with. Now, if you're in here, feel free to ask me Dynasty questions, redraft questions, life questions, whatever you want. Let's get some conversation going here. Lob me up some topics. We'll talk through some things. I sat around today. I scheduled out pretty much every video that we're gonna make from now through NFL draft weekend. If you guys have any video ideas that you want me to cover, please let me know those as well before everything's pretty much set in stone. How's your guys' Tuesdays? How are we doing, everybody? How are we? Man, good to see you. Good to see you, Chewy Bean. How are we? Don't defend yourself. It's YouTube. Sometimes you have to. Yep, we're hopping in redraft today. We got a cool in here. I hope I'm saying that name correctly. Pionio 13, you're in the draft? Okay. Okay, let me know where you're drafting out of. Let me know. How are we doing? Man, we need one more person to fill this thing up. Need one more. Also, I put Lamar on the thumbnail just because I feel like he's been like the center of the news recently. Oh, hey, the 101. Little influencer 101 for the boy. I never get the 101. There we go. Most ideal fantasy situations for Lamar. It's sad, but probably the Ravens. That's what I'm saying. The 101 is absurd. This is absurd. That's a 1 in 12 chance, dude. Most ideal fantasy destinations for Lamar, though. But like I was saying, like Lamar's been like the center of the league like the past couple days. Like owners are weighing in on why they're not interested. Like the Patriots aren't interested, the Falcons aren't interested, the Jets are saying they're all in on Aaron Rodgers, which I hate, by the way. I love that, the Aaron Rodgers deal is coming along and everything, but we could have had a ton of leverage if we just said, if Joe Douglas could have publicly said, even if he didn't believe the words that came out of his mouth, if he just said, hey guys, we're in talks with Aaron Rodgers, but all options are on the table. This thing is sort of dragging out a little bit, and we definitely are doing our due diligence on Lamar Jackson. He is on the market. He's an MVP winning quarterback, just like Aaron Rodgers. So we'll be doing all of our research. That's what I would have hit the public with. But instead he said, no, we're all in on Aaron Rodgers, just pretty much squandering any little ounce of leverage he might have had there. As much I do love Joe Douglas. I thought that was a mistake, though. But you can make the case that, I'm not sure that Aaron Rodgers would have been thrilled to hear that. But in terms of destination, I'm trying to think. Like, I would love the Falcons. I actually think for as much as we give Arthur Smith a lot of crap, I think that he would actually have a really fun offense centered around Lamar, where it would be a lot of like read option and running and kind of making the offense Lamar Jackson the same way that he made his offense Derrick Henry in Tennessee. Trying to think. I think the Falcons would be fun. Of course, the Dolphins would be fun and be like the fastest offense of all time. Him, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. Ravens, of course. Like I'm excited to see. I think that they brought in Todd Monken. So I mean, they haven't added to the wide receiver room outside of Aguilar. Hopefully they add a little bit more to it, but I think that that's fun. I think if he was on the Ravens, that would be fun. I'm trying to think through. I would love if he was on the Jets, but I don't think that that's really in the cards at this point. It's just so tough. I think, honestly, at the end of the day, I think he probably just ends up in Baltimore. I think that he probably, like, it doesn't seem like there's really much interest on the market, which is wild to me. If I was Washington, if I was the Falcons, if I was the Patriots, if I was the Jets, like, there's so many franchises that I would just be jumping all over. If I was the Raiders, if I was the Lions, like, there's so many teams that don't have the luxury to say no to an MVP quarterback in Lamar. And they all are. I guess there's a liquidity problem on the owners. Like, I really don't understand. I really do not. But I do think, I think maybe some teams are scared off, or not scared off, I don't think is the right word, but it would be a bummer to sit down with Lamar, go through rigorous negotiations, and then as he's ready to ink the deal, the Ravens just simply match it, and all the hard work that you put into that, they just come over the top, match the offer, and he's still a Raven. But he's playing on the contract that you pretty much made the Ravens for free. So I do get that aspect, because that you'd look pretty foolish if that's how things panned out. But I don't know if that's an excuse for a team like the Washington Commanders, who haven't had, I mean, have they ever had a good quarterback? I know that they have a Super Bowl win, but I can't even name the quarterback who won the Super Bowl with them. It's very weird, though. Like you said, it's very weird that nobody wants him. It's very weird. It's very weird that, like, there's not a ton of interest. I don't know. Like, I wonder, I'm trying to think of a quarterback who's, like, similar in age to him. I think Burrow is probably unfair. But yeah, it's just so tough. It's so tough. What else we got in here? Hate the Aaron Rodgers move. Going to take him 2 months to get his rhythm with the new squad, just like last year. Yeah, I don't know. There might be a learning curve, but I also do love the fact like this is a lot more narrative-y than you guys will usually see me. But I do absolutely love. It seems like he has a chip on his shoulder. Everybody counted him out before. I think like the COVID MVP or whatever, and it seems like he has a really big chip on his shoulder when it comes to like the Packers sort of moving on from him very quickly, drafting Jordan Love. The media kind of clowning him for the whole darkness retreat thing. So I'm very, as a Jets fan, I couldn't be more excited for Aaron Rodgers. What else we got here? You're saying damn people going to overrate wide receivers this year. In half PPR, you could say Garrett Wilson and Amon-Ra St. Brown over Bijan and Saquon is questionable for sure. I want to say who's the guy? I think it was Sam Sherman is his name. I don't think it was Sam Sherman. Sam something though. It was Sam Sherman. That's exactly who it was. But he put out a really good like little thread recently. Dispelling best ball miss, and he kind of talked through like what should be your flex in half PPR, and he kind of disproved the whole notion that a wide receiver should be in there in best ball, and that it should be running backs more often, and we're playing half PPR anyways. Pretty much made the case, and it's something that I think that a lot of us have known for a while, but still continue to draft wide receivers highly. Like you saw me took Justin Jefferson at 101. That wide receivers are probably a little bit overrated on Underdog, and it's really about finding the edge to exploit that, whether that's being more willing to take on dead zone running backs or forcing running back starts. I'm still not sure yet, or just drafting more quantity of running backs. But I do think how am I trying to say this? I do think the way that we approach running backs probably has to change a little bit in this format. I'm still not sure on how it should change at this point. But something's wrong. Dude, I'm going to double tap running back here. Give me Breece Hall and give me Travis Etienne, two players that I don't think should have round 3 ADPs, even though they do. Now, this is really weird because this is essentially double hero RB, but we took a wide receiver in the first round, so it's like kind of a modified version of that. I think it's sort of fun. I could have made the case for Olave there. Could have made the case for Metcalf as well, but Breece and Etienne are massive, massive targets for me in round 3. I think that to me, they're a clear tier. Like I like them a lot more than Walker. I like them a lot more than like the Derrick Henrys and all of that. I think it's McCaffrey, JT, Eckler, Bijan, Saquon as your top 5, and then I would have a little mini tier of Etienne and Breece behind them, at least early on in the process. Right now, that's how my gut feels, I guess. This is best ball. This is half PPR best ball on Underdog Fantasy, the big board. It's about to close. It's at like 95% full. So I figured, I hop on here, answer some trade questions, some dynasty questions, some football questions, and we could just chill out while this thing pretty much closes. Get like one of our last entries in here. You said, what's up, Ron? Love your vids. Help me win my league last year. Thoughts on Breece Hall's current ADP? I feel like I sort of just touched on it, but I absolutely love it. I think Breece Hall anywhere in the third is absolutely beautiful. I think if it wasn't for the injury, he'd be a 1-2 turn guy. And his ACL tear, and maybe I'm wearing rose-colored glasses as a Jets fan. I'm completely open to that. But his ACL tear was not what J.K. Dobbins was, where there's like MCL and, knee damage and like hip damage and stuff. It is a clean ACL tear that he got in week 6. He is one of the youngest running backs in the NFL. I think that he is probably just turned 22 at this point. I'm fine betting on the bounce back. I'm fine betting on him, especially in a format, or especially in best ball like this, but across fantasy football. We make our money in the playoff weeks. I'm fine punting some early season stuff for Breece Hall, knowing what the upside could be down the stretch. I think that he'll, recover completely. It seems like he's on track to play really early on in the season. I don't think it's going to be as brutal as some recent ACL injuries, so I'm fine kind of scooping up that discount. Also watch Sneaky. I think Hackett coming from the Packers, who sort of have been run skewed when Hackett was there, especially, and when Aaron Rodgers won his MVP. People don't realize, like, Rodgers won his MVPs on, like, monster touchdown rate and interception rate efficiency, like, not throwing for 5,000 plus yards. He's not really a volume guy, but he's very efficient, which means I think that they'll lean on the run game a ton, you know, sort of like they did with, like, Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon towards that period. But I think Breece Hall has the opportunity to be like Aaron Jones, as efficient as Aaron Jones was, but as a bigger back who profiles as more of like a bell cow workhorse type that can take on much more volume. So it's really exciting across the board with Breece. What else we got? Rodgers built a career out of a chip on his shoulder, 100%. 100%. I'm very, very excited to see Aaron Rodgers this year. I might have to pull up to the opener at MetLife. I really might. You think the owners made a deal behind closed doors and nobody gives him that huge contract? He has to stay with the Ravens. It does seem like a, I mean, not like, I guess conspiracy is the word, but it does feel like there's some collusion going on. You know, some of these owners just sort of, I guess collusion's sort of the right word there, but it seems fishy, man. Like, there are some teams in the NFL where beggars cannot be choosers. The Jets sold their soul for Joe Namath. Like, dude, if Aaron Rodgers wasn't about to be a Jet or like in the process of becoming a Jet, I would be screaming at the top of my lungs every single day on this microphone and on Twitter saying that the New York Jets are insane for not trying to trade for Lamar Jackson. If I was a Falcons fan or a Washington fan, I would be sick to my stomach. I'd be banging on the front office doors. I'd be going down. Like, it is insane to be a team like one of those two who are in such a rough spot right now, have no options. Like, I don't want to hear about Howell or Ritter. I really don't. Those guys are fine, you know, guys to have in your room. Howell looked fun in college. I liked him as a prospect. At the end of the day, he graded out as a bronze for me. At the end of the day, we've seen these, you know, like day 3 guys not really pan out. Like, I remember a guy for the Jets a lot of people were sort of excited about with, like, Bryce Petty. You had Davis Webb on the Giants, maybe the next coming after Eli Manning. If a guy goes on day 3 and he plays the most valuable position in the NFL, was probably for a reason. Let's take Lamar. You know, Lamar's on the thumbnail. Why not? Let's go Lamar. And let's go Pittman. Let's go Lamar and Pittman. Why not? It's kind of a weird team for me, but I think it looks fine. I'd like to pop this out so I can show you guys more of the board. Let's do. This is sweet. Felt like I was cooking there for a second. Hold up. Whoop. Not really what I was trying to do. My bad, fellas. I was on a bit of a roll there, but now I'm worried about dumb stuff. All right. What else we got in here? Hey, Ron, I was wondering if Calvin Johnson... I don't know why I said Calvin Johnson. If Calvin Ridley could be a 1,000-yard wide receiver next year, because believe Kirk will soak up his targets, or do you believe Jags will use Ridley as a red zone wide receiver? I think 1,000 receiving yards isn't all that difficult to get to. I like Calvin Ridley to lead that team in receiving yards, targets, all of that. I just think that he is a better player than Christian Kirk. You know, better pedigree. I think that they came out in the same draft class, which is weird to say. Since Calvin Ridley was like a 24-year-old rookie or something crazy. But yeah, give me Calvin Ridley. I just think that he's a more polished like route runner. I think he's a better separator. I think he demands more targets. He was really fun in his Falcons days with like Matt Ryan next to Julio Jones. He showed that he can, you know, command targets next to Julio. I think his best year was next to Julio in like year 2. By the way, one of my earliest articles, one of the ones that I'm most proud of, if you look up like Ron Stewart player profiler, I wrote an article on Calvin Ridley being the next Chris Godwin, like monster year 2 or year 3 breakout or whatever. And he absolutely smashed. I think that was year 3. I'm trying to think of kind of how that translates to him with the Jaguars, but I do think with a guy like Trevor Lawrence that they'll probably opt to pass more often. I think there's going to be plenty of volume, plenty of efficiency to go around with Trevor Lawrence. So yeah, I view Ridley as the one, and I think Kirk can still be an efficient like slot guy who's going to challenge for, you know, wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 numbers. What else we got in here? What else we got? ETN over Tony Pollard seems bad. Nah. Honestly, though, post Zeke, I don't hate that idea. I don't hate that idea, but we're not completely out of the woods yet with Tony Pollard. They could draft a Bijan, which is scary. But I'll admit, Pollard versus ETN is close. Pollard versus ETN is close. I think looking back at it, you could talk me into Pollard over ETN. I think I would also agree. I was saying Breece and ETN a tier ahead of everybody else. I think I'd put Pollard in there as well. I wasn't thinking through Pollard with, Zeke not being there at this point, if he's kind of like the undisputed RB1 that gets used in like an Eckler-ish, Kamara type role. That is very interesting. But I do love ETN. He has like a similar, he has a similar efficiency, just where both of them are getting the absolute max value out of every single one of their carries, their touches, whatever. I think ETN caught passes in college, so I think he could improve on that, but Pollard has already shown he can catch passes pretty well. So that is tough. I think I would prefer, and I know it's weird to bring this up in redraft, but I think I would just prefer the running back. Like if all else is equal and we're talking tiebreakers, I'd probably take the one that's heading into year 3 instead of the guy who's on a franchise tag after his rookie deal. But I do agree it's close. I think that's a good call. I think Pollard is a tier ahead. You could maybe talk me into Ramondre too, ahead of like this Chubb, Derrick Henry, like Josh Jacobs kind of grouping here. What else? T-Law or Herbert for redraft? Probably Trevor Lawrence, man. Something that was super underrated last year about Trevor Lawrence is like, yes, he was amazing. He looks like Andrew Luck, whatever. I believe that he outscored Justin Herbert last year too. But the biggest thing for me that was a takeaway with Trevor Lawrence is that he ran a lot. Obviously not to the extent of like a Lamar Jackson or a Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts, Justin Fields, whatever, but he runs just as much as like Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes runs a good bit. Like these guys who can give you like 3+ fantasy points per game on the ground, whereas like Herbert I think was in more of like the 1.5, 1.7 area. So maybe that bounces back a little bit for Herbert, but I think I would take Lawrence. I think I would. I think he rushes more. I think his offense is probably just as good. His weapons, at least, right? Kirk, Ridley, Ingram, Etienne out the backfield. I was going to say maybe they invested in line, but I don't think they did. I think that I want to say that they gave away or not gave away, but was Jawan Taylor? I believe Jawan Taylor was a Jaguar. All right, so we're about to pick here. Let's get our head out of our ass and to see what the hell is on the board here. So we got Pickens, Swift, Gabe Davis. Pickens went. I would have been cool with Pickens here. We're now in a really weird spot. We're now in a very weird spot here. Let's go. So I'm going to take Quentin Johnston for sure, but after Quentin Johnston, man, do I reach on a Rashad Bateman stack? Jahan Dotson? Do I just maybe bank on Gabe Davis rebound spike weeks? Man, in a game like best ball where it's week to week and you need massive spike weeks, I guess give me Gabe Davis, dude. Maybe he's this year's Mike Evans and he drops a 50 piece in the fantasy playoffs. I think that's very much in his range, to be honest with you guys, but that didn't feel great. I think you could have made the case for Swift or something there, but I already had 2 running backs. I'm going to kind of treat this as a double hero RB type build. And also it's DeAndre Swift in the 7th round. Like, I don't know. It's just not that sexy to me. What else we got in here? 204 for Derrick Henry all day. I would pay the 204 for Derrick Henry in a heartbeat. We got Mike Murray in here. What's going on, brother? You wanted Goddard there? Yeah, sorry, brother. Goddard's okay. 7th round Goddard doesn't feel great, though. What else I missed? You said Jags offense about to be explosive as hell. I agree. They actually look pretty sweet. You think it's worth to take QB so early? 3 in the 2nd round seems nuts. I've never seen so many go early. Yeah, it's something that we're seeing in the best ball market just because, I mean, it's half PPR, so that actually tilts things towards quarterback. And then also, of course, quarterback being a pretty heavy chunk of your starting lineup in this as well, where it's one quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers. I think it's 3 wide receivers, 1 flex, and a tight end. So you get a shorter starting lineup, half PPR. Quarterbacks do go higher. It's a little bit of an overcorrection because you had like Josh Allen going like round 3, 4 last year, and Mahomes like round 5. And those guys are really good values. If you took a lot of Mahomes or a lot of Allen, like if you took a lot of elite quarterbacks last year, your win rates were absolutely massive. But man, like when you're taking these guys in the second round, you're really getting thin on your profit margin there, you know? Like you need these guys to be, my bad as well on showing the screen or whatever. But you need these guys to absolutely, not blow up isn't the right word, but you know what I mean? Like in round 2, I'm trying to think of like what you need for a quarterback in round 2 to be a good pick. Like they probably have to be the QB1 overall, or they either have to be the QB1 overall or give you 25 plus points per game, or like something pretty crazy. Any type of bust from them or an injury puts you in a really tough spot. Like I just think as much as these 3 are great in round 2, like I just keep taking Lamar Jackson at this 4-5 turn, bro. I keep taking Lamar Jackson at this 4-5 turn. I keep taking like Trevor Lawrence back here. I think Justin Fields in the 4th. Like just give me these guys in the 4-5 range instead of the guys in the 2. But I could get burnt again. Fading the cream of the crop. But it's like, God damn. I mean, I guess like once Saquon, Bijan are off the board, and like it gets so tough, man. Like I have a tough time taking out any of these quarterbacks over Breece Hall, ETN. I think Pollard even, Kenneth Walker even. I'd feel much comfortable taking them like here. But obviously that's not where they go. So it's tough to wrestle with. It's going to be very, very curious, or I'm going to be very curious to see how the win rates end up on these quarterbacks who are going, in the second round of drafts. I'm just trying to wrestle with what they need to do for you to profit on that pick. Or, will a QB5 finish? Will that burn a hole in your team if you take a quarterback in the second round? How good does that quarterback have to be, It's tough to wrestle with. JMO this year is Gabe Davis. I think that's a good comp. But I think he's this year's pre-draft Gabe Davis. Like, I think it could go a lot better. Like, I think that he's a similar archetype. He's similarly polarizing, but give me the guy with 4.2 speed, first-round draft capital out of Alabama instead of, like, the day 3 guy out of UCF going into year 3, I think there's a lot more data that kind of backs that up. In Dynasty, what are you doing with guys like Rachaad White and Pacheco? I'm trying to move Rachaad and a pick for Christian Watson and someone like Pirine. What pick do you think that would take? I agree. That's actually a sweet move. I think that's actually a sweet idea to pretty much take your, guys who could get unseated in the NFL draft pretty quickly. I might make a video on guys on like running backs I'd be looking to trade before the NFL draft. Guys who, jobs are a little bit more secure in theory than they could be on draft night. But I think Rachaad White and Pacheco are perfect. I do think, like, in most of my leagues with you guys, I don't think anybody's dying to take those running backs off my hands. But I think in more random leagues with just the general public, I love the idea of trading off of one of those guys, getting a running back lottery ticket like a Pirine in return, or like, if you could do an Antonio Gibson or Rashad Penny or a Damian Harris, a little bit cheaper if you want to go like with a Kareem Hunt, and getting like a piece on top. Like I would even if you want to take Watson out of that, dude, if you think that do you think you could do like Pirine in a second for Rachaad White, or Pirine in like an early second? Like, can you do like Pirine in the 201 for Rachaad White? Because I think I would be into that. I think I would. Yeah, Cowboys are definitely going to take another running back, I'd bet. Yeah, I agree. I do think it could get weird if they take Bijan, dude. Like, you would think that they can't take Bijan, right? Like, we're paying $10 million on the tag for Tony Pollard. You don't need to pay, Bijan with like top 10 draft capital or wherever the Cowboys would take him. I I think is pretty decent running back money. Pretty nice chunk of change there. Let's see. This is kind of the range where I like wide receivers. I think Zay Flowers a bit high. I wouldn't have Zay Flowers that much higher than Jalen Hyatt. And, dude, Josh Downs at 139.1 is crazy. So let's see. We got Evan Ingram like 10 picks past his ADP. I don't even like this pick, but sign me up for it. And then we have Tua, Zay Flowers, Sharp. Let's do Sharp. Why not? I don't take a ton of Sharp. I think that's fun. 9th round. If you go second round in the NFL draft, you could easily work up into like round 5, round 6, Zach Charbonnet. So I think there's a lot of room to make some profit on that pick. What else we got? What do you think the odds are that AR actually becomes a serviceable passer? Man, serviceable passer, dude? I'd say pretty likely. Like serviceable, like we're talking like average. I think it's pretty likely. I'm not a film guy, man, but yes, I know the completion percentage was down and stuff. You have to remember again, 1 year starting in the SEC, one of the highest ADOTs in this class as well, so he's pushing it downfield. But he's making very seasoned plays in the pocket. Like I saw a guy, like I follow guys who review film, so I don't have to, but I think it was Nate Tice. Could be completely whiffing on that. And he showed a clip today of like Anthony Richardson. It's like 4th and 2, game on the line or whatever, and he's very calm, comes up to the line, he makes his adjustments, he slides the line in the protection wherever it has to go, and he steps up in the pocket, he delivers a strike on a go ball, converts. Like for somebody that's so raw, he looks so calm and poised sometimes. And again, like I don't make my money in this business, like watching film and telling you guys what I'm seeing. But there's just something different. Like he's not frantic behind the line. Like he's very calm in the pocket. I brought this up a million times with the EPA stuff, but he's not taking bad sacks or like, massive negative plays or like massive, like bone-headed, like terrible plays. There's something about his game that's very nice. That's very pure, I guess. Like I don't think... I know that he is raw by definition, but I don't think he's as raw as, say, it's like a very raw passer coming into the NFL. Like, I don't think that he's raw in the same way as Will Levis or raw in the same way, I guess, like Lamar was coming in, where like people said, can Lamar throw us at the hashes or whatever? It's actually a really good point, Tyler. You're right. Herbert was battling injuries last year. I think I do have to look into his stuff. I might look at quarterback rushing over the past, 2 years to get a better sample on that data. So I think you're right. I thought that Herbert ran a lot more in his year 2 than he did this past year. Injury could have played into it. Do you think Deshaun Watson will have a bounce back season, and how much will Elijah Moore affect Amari Cooper? I don't think he affects Amari Cooper much in the fact that I think Amari Cooper probably just goes back to being himself, in that, low 20% target share area, as a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 type. But I think I'm going to be very bullish on this Cleveland Browns offense, man. The passing offense, at least. I touched on it in my top 10 takeaways from free agency video. The Browns are an analytically driven franchise. I got to look into the numbers, but I don't believe that Kevin Stefanski, when he was with the Vikings, he was run heavy, but I think that there were some times where he did air it out in terms of neutral passing and pass rate over expectation. I don't think that he was league bottom. And we're seeing the Browns make moves where they are trading picks to, they traded picks last year to acquire Amari. They're trading picks now to acquire Elijah Moore. They went out and got Deshaun Watson. So the offense that we've seen with Jacoby Brissett and the offense that we've seen with Baker Mayfield, a more limited passer where he just wants to kind of play defense and run the ball. I want to be very overexposed to the Browns. I'm already drawing the parallels to the Eagles last year, where we thought that they were going to run the ball because that's what they've done historically without really listening to the moves that were going on. This seems a lot like a team that is going to pass more than we expect. Deshaun could easily take some sort of a bounce back, right? He gets a year under his belt at this point. He gets a full off season with these guys. He doesn't get all of the, off the field noise and stuff that comes with everything that he, had going on or whatever. So it wouldn't shock me at all if we saw more volume. They completely gutted that running back room. Of course, they have Chubb, but Hunt gone, Dearness Johnson gone. I actually think Jerome Ford is nice, like a sneaky handcuff play. But it's very clear now, right? They have Njoku, who's a guy who can, get open down the seam, give you some yak. You have Elijah Moore, who's in the slot. Amari Cooper, who can get open, get separation on the outside. Like, they have a very, very sexy passing offense. And I think Kevin Stefanski is also a very capable, play caller, coordinator, whatever. So if they went from one of the run-heaviest teams to one of the pass-heaviest teams, and you saw, Deshaun throw for 4,000 plus passing yards, and the whole passing offense benefited from it, and pretty much everybody in the passing offense smashed the ADP, it wouldn't shock me at all. So all of the Browns passing game pieces, I want to be higher than consensus this season. So yeah, that's my monologue on the Browns. All right, so we have to actually make a pick here. I really got to start paying attention to the draft more and maybe give you guys more commentary on what the hell is going on in the draft, dude. But come on, man. I'm a seasoned veteran, dude. I've been in a million of these drafts, bro. Samaje Perine going before Brian Robinson doesn't even faze me, bro. Give me Sky Moore. I don't love it at all. Give me Sky Moore. And give me Damian Harris, I think. Doesn't feel good. Does not feel good. I'll tell you guys that much. Damian Harris, I think in the 11th round is actually really fun to me. Really fun, dude. Devin Singletary last year on the Bills was what, 7th, 8th round pick? Devin Singletary and James Cook, they were back to back. James Cook go ahead. Wow. So James Cook goes pick 93 and Damian Harris goes pick 131. I'll take that 40 pick discount on Damian Harris every single time, dude. Every single time. I think there's a good chance Damian Harris outscores James Cook this year. Damian Harris could rush for 1,000 yards and 10 plus touchdowns. And it wouldn't even shock me a slight bit. You said Demon should have a higher ADP than Swift. I actually agree. I agree. For as much as, and I'm someone that loves DeAndre Swift. I truly do love DeAndre Swift, or I did love him when he was a little more promising, but I agree. I think David Montgomery outtouches him. I think that he outtouches him on the goal line. It's tough. Because you guys know that's not the archetype of running back I chase, David Montgomery. Dude, I don't know what's going on with me today. But you guys get what I'm saying. I'm just a mind reader like that, or psychic, if you will. I'm doing a best ball MLB draft. Okay. Is it opening day tomorrow, today? I don't know. Yeah, if you're into baseball, dude, hop in a baseball draft. I have it myself. I wish I did. I wish I knew anything about baseball, but yeah, I haven't. Gonna be playing after I'm done with this though. I'm gonna be hopping on MLB The Show and playing that for the rest of the night. So you have the 103, 108, 111, 203. So getting another in that 102, 205 range is probably not what I'm looking to do. I'd rather get out of that range than get in. Okay, so that's my bad. Maybe a future second, or if you can get. Dude, I wonder what you'd have to add to Rachaad White to get a future first. Would any of you guys do Rachaad White? Would any of you guys do Rachaad White in a 203 to get a 2024 first? A random 24 first? I think I would think long and hard about it. AR fixes his lower body mechanics, he will be at least serviceable. Yeah, I agree. Great poise, great pocket presence, great sack avoidance. Yeah, exactly. He's not a liability in the pocket to me. He can sit in there. It's like the pressure's not too, there's some guys who are frantic and they'll sit in the pocket and they'll bail on the pocket before it actually breaks down and they get frantic. He's very calm. I think some of that is that he's just so big too, but I don't know. He's just so calm in the pocket from what I've seen. Just very calm. He's not doing anything that's really bad where it's you're scrambling. It's what the hell, Josh Allen still has some of those boneheaded plays where I still remember it was I think it was Bills Texans maybe. It was the end of the game and he rolls out and he fumbled back to his own 40 from the red zone or something. Let me know if I'm misremembering that. It was some playoff game, or maybe it was just a game against the Texans. I could be completely misremembering, but been a Gators fan since before Tebow, and I've seen the AR potential for a long time. Was ecstatic that he crushed the combine. Love that. Wanted him over Emory Jones in 21. Fun fact, if I had a college football team that I would say that I like, it would probably be the Gators. My aunt is or was a professor at Florida at Gainesville. Like she had like Tim Tebow in like one of her classes or whatever. When she would come home for the holidays to visit. I remember she came home for like Christmas, like through New Year's for like, the holidays or whatever one time. And we literally turned on Tebow in like the Sugar Bowl or something like that against Bama and watched those games just because, she taught at Florida. So I grew up watching Tebow. I love Tebow. Love the Gators too, but it's tough. As a New Jersey guy who didn't go to a 4-year school, I can't really claim a college that I'm a fan of. Maybe I can. Like I can really only claim I'll claim just all New Jersey schools, like Rutgers, Seton Hall. I want to see all of them do well. But outside of that, for football, I do like the Gators. We got Genji in here. What's up, brother? I hate to say that I do play some Overwatch myself. Not great with Genji, but I'm also like a bronze, and I mess around every once in a while. Richardson can be a Cam Newton level passer, at least in my opinion. I agree. I don't think that's crazy at all. I know that he's raw, but I don't think he's raw. I think there's a lot to like. I think there's a lot more to like than people would claim. Yep, I agree. Damian Harris has very strong Jamal Williams vibes where, dude, people are going to tell you, and I talked about it in my top 10 lessons video, people are going to say Josh Allen's going to be the goal line back, whatever. Dude, every running back that they've had during Josh Allen's career has either been small or has sucked. After he got hurt down the stretch last year, they are not dying to ram him between the tackles and goal line formation in week 4 of the regular season, right? Maybe the playoffs, they whip out that package where they use him and they fake the QB power and they throw it over the top to Dawson Knox. Sure. But in a week 5 game against Atlanta, they're not whipping that out. Pause. But they're not whipping that out. There's no way that they are just going to ram their $250 million investment or whatever his contract was on the goal line repeatedly through the end of time. One of these days, they're going to wake up and be like, oh my God, that is such a horrible use of a franchise QB. Do I want to take... Brock, how do we feel about Alec Pierce heading into year 2? Because I'm not that interested. Let's take A-Rich just because we've been glazing him a little bit here. Why not? Let's take A-Rich. Fine. We'll take him over Kyler. Whatever. Availability is the best ability. I'm joking with that, but you guys get what I'm saying. By the way, Alec Pierce's brother, I was listening to a broadcast. Alec Pierce's brother plays for the Princeton basketball team. So, like, during the March Madness broadcast in the Sweet 16, they're, like, panning over to Alec Pierce just, like, standing on the sideline, which is fun. The worst part about fantasy baseball is management. I agree, dude. I wouldn't even have a clue of how... Like, once there's more than one game in a given week and you start playing fantasy basketball and fantasy baseball, like, dude, miss me with that. Like, I'm not setting a lineup. Like, I couldn't, like, waivers, lineups, trades would just be a nightmare. Like, I think, honestly, like, I think Underdog's, like, best for NBA, MLB, these, like, 80-plus game seasons, dude. I'm not setting a lineup multiple times a week. I'm not doing waivers multiple times a week. I'm not... Just too much. It's too much. Rashad White is so undervalued right now, it's hard to sell him. That's fair. It does seem like there's a little bit attached to his value. So there's a little bit attached to his value right now with... what am I trying to say? It doesn't seem like he's being propped up by being the only guy in that backfield right now is what I'm trying to say. Someone sent me 107 for Pickett, rebuilding team. Oh, in a heartbeat, brother. In a heartbeat. I think Pickett in this draft, like 107, you're getting at least Will Levis, who I'd have over Pickett. trying to think. After Pickett, like what would Pickett be the equivalent of in this draft class? Probably like the 110, 111. But I think 107 is like the clear, really nice tier where you get JSN, the 3 quarterbacks, Bijan, Gibbs, Bijan, the 3 quarterbacks is 5, plus Levis, plus JSN. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. 100%. And I think inherently, like, he's probably pretty accurate. You know what I mean? It's probably just a matter of technique and replicating it. You know what I mean? Bro, Monmouth, a Monmouth University fan, yeah. Monmouth. I'm trying to think of like the other obscure, like New Jersey teams. Like, of course, like Princeton, Fairleigh Dickinson, St. Peter's was a New Jersey team. It's pretty funny how New Jersey's kind of ran March the last couple of years. The Bills are addressing O-line hard this offseason too. I think they're really trying to be less Josh Allen dependent. I agree. They have to have some kind of a run game, dude. Like, it's pretty crazy in an era right now where, like, the run game really doesn't matter, but it's like when these teams back up and make Josh Allen throw 50 times a game, like, you can obviously win that way, but to consistently win that way is tough because, you know, what if Diggs isn't eating that day and, you know, they're bracketing him and doubling him and Gabe Davis doesn't come through with a long ball for you. It's how you keep coming short in these playoffs, man. If you can't make the defense respect the run game outside of what Josh Allen does in like the read option, the QB power game and stuff, you have to get somebody where you can just, you know, run some kind of zone run concept or something very simple between the tackles and gain 5 yards out of it, 4 yards out of it, make the defense respect that. I think it's huge. Because once you can start playing off the play action with Josh Allen and teams actually respect the play action, things get very sexy. So give me offensive line upgrades plus Damian Harris, who, by the way, Damian Harris isn't the greatest running back of all time. In terms of like a pure rushing between the tackles guy, it's, you know, Nick Chubb and like your big name guys. And then you have your Damian Harris's, you have your, I mean, in years past, it would be like Gus Edwards, James Robinson, Dearness Johnson you could kind of put in there, Ronald Jones. Caden is the best, 6 boards versus Mizzou. Their older brother Justin played basketball at UNC too. Really? You're telling me that they have an older brother who played at UNC? Alec Pierce? Dude, there's something about it. I really don't know what it is. I think it's just because I'm a weirdo, but there's something about like athletic families that is so fun to me. You know? Like, I love the St. Brown brothers. And David Njoku, I only know this because Njoku's a New Jersey guy. Like, he went to high school like literally 30 minutes away from me, David Njoku. He has 2 brothers who were really nice in high school but didn't really work out. Christian McCaffrey, I think, had 2 brothers that played at like Rice and somewhere else. It's crazy, man. It's also crazy, like, sometimes the brother just doesn't hit like the genetic lottery or whatever. Like, Michael Jordan's brother, like, Michael Jordan will say that his brother was better than him, but I think that he wasn't even like 6 foot or something crazy. And I think he could still dunk under 6 foot, but it is wild. Especially these sport. I think Christian McCaffrey's dad obviously played for the Broncos, and I think that his mom was like maybe a basketball player at Stanford or like a track athlete at Stanford, and maybe like her grandfather was like an Olympian. Just like crazy genes that some of these guys have. When can I draft? Who's Darren Waller dating? That WNBA player? How early in my Devy League can I draft Darren Waller and Darren Waller's son? Pierce is fine. I like his fit in Steichen's offense. Most 20-plus yards passes in the NFL. That's fun. Yeah, I agree. He's really not much more than like a field stretcher. And like not like an exciting field stretcher that can like blossom into, you know, like Will Fuller was like a very exciting field stretcher. Of course, you have like your Randy Mosses and Martavis Bryants, and I guess like Isaiah Bruce I'd put in there. Deshaun Jackson, of course, but he's probably more trying to think of like very non-sexy field treasures, like shitty Ted Ginn. Man, Taysom Hill way passes ADP here. I think Taysom Hill is kind of a sucker's pick now. I do. Let's go Sean Tucker. By the way, Sean Tucker would be a gold prospect with day 2 draft capital. So just keep that under wraps. Gold would be nice. That'd be only him and Gibbs would be gold. If essentially everybody got day 2 in this draft class, him and Gibbs would be the only one that can rise up to gold. I would think about Taysom Hill, but I'm cool on that. Give me Hunter Renfrow, man. Guy has a role in the NFL. Sucks. I mean, the Raiders brought in pretty much a carbon copy of him with Jacoby Myers, but maybe he gets traded. Maybe Jacoby Myers plays more outside than we think. I don't know. Yeah, below oblique potential is nice for best ball. Slim Slug the Plug? Who the hell is Slim Slug the Plug? Why do you say his team's chalked? Say it looks okay. I don't know. I always suck at like gauging how good a team looks on the draft board. Yeah, exactly. You don't need. Yeah, Pacheco gets it done too. Yeah, Pacheco's a great just between the tackles. Like you just need someone that can get north and south, bro. Like it sounds very boomer coach of me. Just somebody that can get north and south, take his blocks, not do all this I love that dude. Let me put on my visor and my coaching outfit. You know, we don't need any of that east-west crap, okay? We need that north-south, hard-nosed, 4 yards in a cloud of dust run game. That's all you need. That's all you need. Just move the chains. You get 3 every time, they can't stop you. You get 3 every time, they can't stop you. That's your dad's football. Can I scroll up real quick? Sure. This is the first round. JT and Eckler are hiding behind me. Or behind my face cam, whatever. This is the whole draft board. I went Jefferson, Brees, ETN. So I'm kind of doing like a weird like modified double hero RB. Where I take wide receiver first, double tap running back, and then kind of fill out the rest of the board as we go. Whoa. That's I don't know what just got exposed there, but Alec Pierce sounds like a good guy, but that's a burn pick. I don't know if you talked about Dalton Schultz to Texans. I did, but it's ugly, man. It's ugly. He's not someone that's a target hog or massively efficient. He was kind of just a beneficiary of being like the third option in a good offense with Dak Prescott. So when you take a guy who was like, I think he was like 10th last year in target share, 13th the year before that, it starts getting pretty rough, man. It starts getting pretty rough where you take a guy who's not going to command a ton of volume and he goes from the Cowboys offense, who I believe was 4th in points per game on offense, to the Texans, who were 31st with probably a rookie quarterback. So it's I'm not touching him anywhere, to be honest with you. I mean, where is he going here? 11th round's palatable. That's not where he used to go in like the 7th round or whatever. Still not all that interested. Like he's not an athlete. Like he doesn't have this crazy upside or anything. Like I would take Greg Dulcich over him all day. It is tough because I think I'm being a little bit unfair. I think 11th round, like 11-12 turn like he is right here is probably a fair price. That's probably a fair price. I wouldn't be thrilled to pay it. But it's not like egregious or anything, you know. If he was going ahead of like Freiermuth and Joku, that would be an issue. If he was going like in this area, he's probably properly priced, but I just don't chase guys who aren't athletic like Schultz. Like I would just rather, I mean, I know Dulcich isn't athletic, but I think that he's young and has more upside. He also has a really high ADOT, so he's creating more efficiency than a guy like Schultz. I guess Chigoziem Okonkwo is fun. But yeah, I probably punt on all these guys. I do love me some Juwan Johnson. I gotta look into like these late tight ends. But in terms of like, I like Higbee. I I don't mind taking a swing on McBride. I don't mind taking a swing on Ferguson. I think Fan at tight end 27 is a really fun price too with Geno Smith there. Jelani Woods is a fun swing. Yeah, things get thin. O.J. Howard is kind of fun on the Raiders. I mean, there's no Waller. There's no Moreau. Like, I mean, it might just be O.J. Howard time. I could be completely looking past a Raiders tight end. They could, of course, draft Darnell. Oh, they signed Austin Hooper. I knew that it wasn't. I knew it was too good to be true. I cannot explain enough, fellas. O.J. Howard was a monstrous prospect. If O.J. Howard did not pan out as, a solid elite tight end in this league, then tight end prospecting is insane. What am I doing with Sean Tucker's combine numbers? I adjusted his 40 by 0.05. The issue with Sean Tucker is I have a hard time taking his numbers at face value because I think that they are juiced a little bit. But I have a hard time grading him out as somebody who didn't test at all because we know he's an athlete. He ran really fast, like 100-meter whatever in high school. We knew he was going to test well. So why penalize him for doing this little self thing? So I adjusted his 40 time. I used his RAS from that adjusted 40 time. And that's just what I'm treating it as for now, just because I know the numbers aren't great, but it's also like we know he's an athlete. So I have a hard time treating him as a non-athlete because he self-reported those numbers. But I do get somebody who doesn't love that. I do get that. Let's go Trey McBride here. And if Kenny Pickett's still on the board, I'll go Kenny Pickett as well. And we'll go with a 3.682. Let's go Kenny Pickett, like way past his ADP. That's perfect. And then we need, let's do Trey McBride too. Why not? Dalton Kincaid's interesting here. But he's hurt. He's a rookie tight end. Like, give me the year 2 tight end in Trey McBride. He should have some time to kind of get his reps in with Zach Ertz coming off the ACL or whatever. It's not going to be pretty. He's going to be catching passes from God knows who is behind Kyler. So that's kind of the tough part, but I guess we're kind of betting that he pulls it together by the end of the year. I'm trying to think through here. I need late pass catchers. Calvin Austin's kind of a fun throw in there at the end. And then we have Ravens, even though Lamar likely doesn't end up with the Ravens. Maybe he does. I honestly think he's a fine bet to end up a Raven. Man, I should have gone Isaiah Likely over Trey McBride just to get some stack in for Lamar, but whatever. I'll take tight ends off the board now too. If you take Pierce, you're hoping he can be... Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Mike Williams is his ceiling, but like Mike Williams is like every Donovan Peoples-Jones, or trying to think of like air yards, like finessers. Like Travis Benjamin. I think Travis Benjamin's a nice ceiling comp for him. A skinny, tall Travis Benjamin. Like, I guess Robbie Anderson is a good one too, if he could. Put your head down and run the damn ball, son. Yeah, exactly, dude. Ron, if I have a contending dynasty team, Kupp, Tyreek, and my only draft capital is 324 first, should I sell a couple of firsts to improve? You have Tyreek, JT, CMC. I think my advice would be roll into the first, however many weeks of the season, see where you're at, and you can kind of use those 24 firsts as trade pieces if you want to upgrade anything. But I would let the first few weeks come to you, So you have Stafford, Jimmy G. I assume this is one quarterback or what? Yeah, I like Jelani too. Imagine him running up the seams with A-Rich throwing to him, big play upside. Yeah, I agree. He's one of those athletes that are fun. Yeah, I agree. I like the idea of trying to get an elite quarterback on that team. I kind of just glossed over you having Stafford and Jimmy G. I'd probably try and use 2 of those picks on a quarterback, seeing what you could do. Where the Jacobs pick at? What, from yesterday? Where I got auto-drafted Josh Jacobs, dude? I'm still having a hard time recovering from that. Where did Jacobs go here? Middle of round 3. I have a hard time paying that price in redraft. You want to buy Jelani Woods for a 3rd? Yeah. That's fair. I honestly think the move is, I don't really know how to say your name. I feel like I'm getting baited into saying, like, E-Coxer, dude. Come on, bro. I feel like I'm getting pranked. But I think you could also do the same thing that I'm saying, where you could just sort of roll into the season, because I think quarterbacks, especially on like rebuilding teams, should be easier to acquire. Like maybe there's a guy out there who like sucks through 4 weeks and has Dak Prescott, or there's going to be buying opportunities in season. So I don't mind the idea of rolling into the year. If you believe that you can win without elite quarterbacks, and do it. And then sort of dangle those 2 firsts once it's pretty clear who's tanking or not winning, because you can just say, hey, I'll give you Stafford and 2 firsts on top, and let me get Dak Prescott or something. You know what I mean? Those picks are going to be more valuable to a team looking to rebuild with an older quarterback. Maybe like Russell Wilson has a resurgence. Like there's going to be a lot of opportunities for somebody to sort of rise up. Or not rise up. You get what I'm saying. There's going to be opportunities like in season. I would just look around, dangle those 2 first, and try and get a quarterback that way. You can get a rookie tight end with a 3rd this year. Yeah, I agree. Sam Laporta, Luke Musgrave. Please. Oof. All right, we got Cedric Tillman there. God, I hate when I do that. Dearness Johnson, Ronald Jones. Man, we're getting deep into our... All right, so I think we need to take one more running back. Let's take Devin Duvernay, and we'll just see what running back comes back to us. Do you guys see me absolutely hit a buzzer beater there? Jeez, dude. I saw I had like 5 seconds left. I got Cedric Tillman into where I needed him to go. Man. You got a crack team on MLB. I'm about to play MLB The Show after this. I'm very excited. I feel like I've said that 19 times, but I'm very excited to hop on there. Dude, it's so funny when I play MLB, dude. Like, I'll play with my buddy, and we'll play, like, co-op sometimes, dude. And I just make the most egregious errors in field. Like, as someone that has I've never played baseball at any level in my entire life. What's the season? Spring. So I play lacrosse during baseball season. I don't know where the force is. I don't know, like, I don't know. I think that baseball credits don't get enough. I don't think baseball players get enough credit for, like, yes, there's so much time between plays and there's a lot going on that way, but I don't think baseball players get enough credit for, like, if you're playing shortstop and there's, like, you have to have in your head, there's, like, there's a guy on first and a guy on third and there's one out. What the hell is the play? If the ball comes my way, where the hell am I throwing it? You know what I mean? And just sort of, like, bouncing off of that every play. It's tough. It's tough to field, dude. I cost all the time. It's crazy. I do the most egregious shit, bro. Like, early on, I don't know, like, dumb shit. Like, I'm trying to think, like, 2 outs, guy running to first. Like, instead of just throwing it to first and getting an out, like, I've thrown it to home plate before to, like, try and get the scoring run out. Missing. It's just bad. It's just bad, dude. Like, the errors that I'll commit, it's bad. I don't know how to use the guys in the outfield too, so I'll just, like, jump and I don't know, dude. I'm learning how to play. That was me on the last MLB. What do you think about Ritter and Dynasty? I'm not all that interested these days. What do you think about Ritter and Dynasty? I'm not all that interested. Like, he played games last year. He didn't really rush either. He didn't look good. I'd be way more in on him as a prospect if he got draft capital. Like, I think he's just a silver quarterback prospect. And that's kind of how I would treat him. Like, I guess he's like I'd have him in the same area as Sam Howell. I think I'd be a little bit more bullish on Sam Howell just because of the rushing upside that he showed last year. Like, this was like 2 starts maybe, but yeah, Ritter's tough. Like, he doesn't get me excited at all. I mean, I guess he's going to get, he'll get the first crack at that, week 1 job if the Falcons pass on a quarterback at 8. So it is tough. Dude, it's a bummer too because I've always been a guy, like, my 40 time is good. I'm a very good sprinter. Like, I'm very good, short distance runner. Long distance, like, I stopped playing lacrosse because you have to do the, like, mile run every year. Like, dude, at my most peak physical shape of all time, like, I played basketball, lacrosse my freshman year in high school, peak physical condition, and I still could not crack 7:30 mile. I couldn't do it. I'm just not a good long distance runner. So I would love baseball where you're just fucking around the whole time, just like, chewing sunflower seeds, just, like, that would be my speed. I'm not a guy, I don't like doing the long distance running and all of that. Like, I would have loved baseball. It's an absolute shame I didn't get into it, especially like being numbers oriented. Like, I've had guys all the time tell me, like, dude, you would love baseball. Because it's so much of like a figured out science, where, righties and lefties and numbers and wins above replacement and all of that. But yeah, it's a bummer I never got to play, dude. I would have loved it, dude. I would have loved it. Just like standing around doing nothing the entire time, bro. Just, messing around with the boys in the dugout. Like, I would have loved it. Yeah, I agree. Like, playing, like, I've loved the like, anytime that I played like wiffle ball, like with the boys or in a gym class or something, that was always super fun. Jelani Woods highway robbery. How do you know I'm gonna be on ship chasing tomorrow? I got a DM from somebody. I actually got a DM. I'll air him out here. I got a DM from Notorious saying, "Hey, you're gonna be on ship chasing tomorrow." I am. I'm curious to know though, Chris. How do you know? Like, where did Pete announce it? Because I didn't know if I was allowed to tell you guys or not. But yeah, tomorrow night I'll be hopping on a live stream for ship chasing. There's gonna be 6 of us in there. I think we're all owning 2 teams and doing like a round table rookie mock draft. So that'll be really fun. Honestly, a little bit nervous. My first time going on Pete's stream. Wish me luck, guys. It's honestly, it's a crazy murderous row of guys. I don't know how Pete was like, yeah, Ron deserves to be in this room, but I think it's like Pete, JJ Zacharyson, Karain, Gretch, Blair over at RotoViz, and I'm forgetting one more. This is a bit awkward that I am. And it's me. Am I an idiot? Oh, the live is scheduled and my face is on it? That makes sense. That makes sense. All right, so we have one more pick to make here. Man, I would have loved to take Dwayne McBride. So it has to be a running back. Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards might get cut, man. Give me Deuce Vaughn, bro. Give me Deuce Vaughn. Maybe he catches a ton of passes in year 1. So there is probably our final team. Maybe I'll get another draft in before the night's over, but that is our final team here. But yeah, definitely super excited for ship chasing. That'll be really fun. Did I name everybody? JJ, Overzet, Karain, Gretch. What the hell am I leaving out? I feel like an asshole. I'm not leaving out anybody. I keep leaving out myself like an idiot. But who are these people you speak of? They are all titans in the industry, I would say. JJ Zacharyson, Ben Gretch, Blair Andrews, Karain, Pete Overzet. They're all very, very huge. They're having me on the Ship Chasing channel. Chip Chasing Channel is a really fun channel where they talk through like high stakes leagues in the offseason or in peak redraft season. Now they're sort of talking through Dynasty. Let me see this thumbnail that you speak of. I get done dirty? Hey, I'm in there. Okay. That's sweet. That'll be really fun. Like I said, a bit nervous. These guys are huge in the space. But it'll be fun. Sounds like you're an explosive athlete, which is perfect baseball. Yeah. That is me. But I'm not that great at throwing. I know you said, can you throw? I'm not a great thrower. Never been a great thrower. I wish I had like an absolute cannon of an arm. The live is scheduled. You said show this Best Ball Mania entry or this Best Ball. I don't know why I said Best Ball Mania, but why am I struggling to just pull up the team, dude? I'm all over the place today, boys. I hate to say it. But I guess this is the team. I'm struggling to find the way for things to look pretty. But here's the squad. 3-6-8-3, like a weird build here. Aren't you like 6'4"? I'm 6'3". I'm 6'3", but I'm telling you, I can't throw heat, dude. I've never been someone that could throw. Like I can throw, but I'm not dude, like pitchers are crazy, dude. I remember playing dodgeball in gym class, dude, and like my arm would give out after like a few throws and me putting my all into it. I couldn't imagine like hopping on the mound and like giving my all into every single pitch and doing that like 50 times. Yeah, Brees, Etienne. It's a fun team. It's not beautiful. Maybe we could have drafted like one more running back. I think that would have done us kind of right. But this is a good squad. All right. That's going to do it for us today. Again, the big board is closing soon. This is the draft that we just did here. It's going to probably close tonight. It was 95%. Oh, okay. It's only 95.2%. So maybe it should probably fill. I would say tomorrow night would be my guess. So if you haven't already and you're new to Underdog, make sure you use promo code RON. I should have put something in the live chat, but I didn't. But there's going to be a link to join in the description, in the comment section down below. They'll match your deposit all up to $100. You can hop into these drafts, have some fun big board drafts if you're into baseball. I know that they have some stuff going on before opening day happens. I know that they have do they have stuff? Yeah, the MLB 2023 season. So you can draft stuff for the MLB season here, which is fun. If any of you guys like playing baseball, I think honestly, I think best ball is like perfect for baseball, for NBA, all of that, dude. But yeah, a lot of fun to have on Underdog. Figured I would hop on a draft here before the big board closes. Stay tuned tomorrow. Ship Chasing. Just look up Ship Chasing on YouTube. That's the channel. I'll be on there. Let's actually pull it up right now so you guys can see the thumbnail. The thumbnail is pretty funny. I love that overzip put my face on there. But this is it right here. Dynasty rookie mock draft with JJ, Ron, and Blair. Ship Chasing. So that'll be what we're doing tomorrow. So 9:15 will be live. We'll be in there like swimwear, drafting rookies. We're going to do, I don't know how many rounds Dynasty rookie mock draft, but it should be fun. Titans of the space, like I said, are in there. JJ Zacharyason's in there. I don't know how I got invited in the same room as JJ Zacharyson and Blair, but very fun. Drop a link. That's actually a good idea. Let me drop a link in the chat to their channel. Why not? So basically check that out. I know that Jordan Reed over at ESPN is dropping like a 7-round mock draft tomorrow, so keep that on the down low. I'm hoping that I can make a video using that mock draft and make a rookie mock draft of landing spots out of it before everybody else does. So stay tuned for that. We got a lot of cool stuff going on. Shout out Ship Chasing. I dropped their link to their channel. Make sure you support the boy in there tomorrow. Like I said, a little bit nervous. There's a lot of guys in there with really big Twitter followings, but I'll be good. You guys know this is what I do. This is what I've been doing down here in the basement from the beginning, talking ball. This is what I'll always do. This is what I'm best at. So just got to lock in and be him. All right. That's enough of me talking nonsense into this mic. I love you guys, everyone that came out. I appreciate all of you guys. Chris, Genji, Brock, all of you guys. It's all love. Thank you for hopping in here, keeping the live chat not so dry, giving me stuff to talk about in the live chat. Appreciate you guys coming out. We'll be on the Ship Chasing stream tomorrow. We'll have some videos coming out this week. Big Dynasty rankings update coming this weekend. It'll be like our official pre-draft rankings. So going to be a little bit inactive this weekend, putting a lot of time on there. But we'll be back in it better than ever. As always, I will see y'all in the next one.